Okay, this is my audience. Faith is only real where there is obedience, never without it. And faith only becomes faith in the act of obedience. Dietrich Bonhoeffer wrote The Cost of Discipleship during World War II in 1937 in Nazi Germany. This quote comes from that book. Faith, what does it mean? Faith and obedience are intertwined. Faith does not come before obedience, and obedience does not lead to faith. Faith is not just mental ascension that Christ is Lord. Faith in Christ means we act in obedience to the call He gives each of us to follow Him. I love reading about Christian martyrs and their writings because it means that they lived their message even unto death. Bonhoeffer was arrested for his faith and for his vocal anti-Nazi defiance, both against Hitler specifically and against the Nazi Party. He was imprisoned in a Nazi internment camp for his beliefs, and because of his failed Hitler assassination attempt, he was tried and hanged. Bonhoeffer wrote many Christian classics while he was imprisoned. Bonhoeffer's writings have spurred on many Christians to a stronger walk and a higher level of obedience, even in the face of martyrdom. His faith was realized through obedience to God, even when it cost him his life. Pause that. James 2:17 says, "Faith by itself isn't enough. Unless it produces good deeds, it is dead and useless." And James 2:26 says that just as the body is dead without breath, so also faith is dead without good works. We do not have faith first and then step into obedience as a result of our spiritual growth. We have the God-given grace to walk in obedience as we grow in our faith. We all have difficult situations that we face in life. As Christians, we can have faith that God is there with us in the midst of our hurt, our pain, our troubles, and our sorrows. Jesus became the very embodiment of our suffering on the cross. Our blessed assurance is in Christ, whom was crucified, resurrected, so we can have new life in Him. We can cling to Him and walk with Him in obedience. Our faith in Him and our obedience to follow Him causes us to go to places in Him that is beyond our wildest imaginations. His love for us is revealed to us in a greater way when our faith and expectancy for more of Him rises. This causes us to love obedience because it means we get to experience more of Him. There's places that we can go in Christ through obedience and through our faith that we can never go apart from our obedience in our faith. What Bonhoeffer is trying to awaken us to is a greater depth of consecration to God. We cannot cheapen the grace of God, where we receive it and keep living the way we always have. Lately, I've been reading this book, The Cost of Discipleship, and it has spurred something deep in my heart to respond to Jesus out of faith and obedience, to be a true follower of Him. You see, grace is not a get-out-of-hell-free card. It empowers us to live a life of obedience through faith in Jesus Christ. Grace is not free. It costs us everything. Neither Bonhoeffer nor I think that we are to earn our salvation, because it is the free gift of God. But although this gift is free technically, it cost us our very life. Jesus commands us to take up our cross and follow Him. We must give up everything that keeps us from a life of consecration. We need to labor according to the grace of God. It takes real work, real effort, through faith and obedience. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is the practicality of being a Christian. We cannot truly say we have faith if we are disobedient towards God. obedience is not just a consequence of faith. It comes before it as well. We have to obey the call Jesus gave to come and follow me before our faith is realized. However, we must realize that we must have faith to obey. If we are to be true followers of Jesus, we need to walk in grace and obedience. Jesus is calling and beckoning us to come in faith through an act of our obedience to his word. Will you respond?